Did you know that the 100 ended with exactly 100 episodes? This symmetry was fitting for a show that began with 100 juvenile delinquents sent to Earth and ended with humanity transcending into beings of pure light. From its Lord of the Flies beginnings to its mystical alien conclusion, the 100 took us through 3 nuclear apocalypses, countless wars, and enough moral dilemmas to fill 7 seasons. Let's walk back memory lane of the show's 7 seasons, all wrapped up in 25 minutes. Season 1. The story kicks off 97 years after a nuclear apocalypse wiped out civilization on Earth. The survivors fled to space, creating a massive station called the Ark. But now, they're running out of air, so they send 100 juvenile prisoners down to Earth to see if it's habitable. Our main character is Clarke Griffin, the daughter of the Ark's chief doctor. She's joined by Bellamy Blake, who snuck aboard to protect his sister, Octavia. Having siblings was illegal on the Ark due to strict population control laws, which is why Octavia grew up hidden under the floor. The other major players include hothead John Murphy, techie Monty Green, awkward Jasper Jordan, and the Chancellor's son, Wells, who quickly gets murdered by a traumatized little girl. When the 100 land on Earth, they discover the radiation doesn't kill them, and they immediately devolve into a chaotic teen camp, partying, hooking up, and ignoring the wristbands that monitor their vitals for the Ark. Bellamy encourages them to remove the bands so the adults won't follow them down. But Earth holds a shocking surprise. Humans survive the apocalypse. The Grounders are tribal warriors who see the newcomers as invaders. After initial hostilities, including the capture and torture of Grounder Lincoln, who Octavia falls for, attempts at peace fail when a nervous kid shoots a Grounder during negotiations. Mechanic Raven Reyes makes her way down from the Ark in a pod to help establish communications. She's Finn's girlfriend, which creates a love triangle since Finn and Clarke had already hooked up. The oxygen crisis on the Ark leads to Chancellor Jaha sacrificing 320 people to buy more time. But it's not enough. They'll have to come to Earth. The season culminates in a massive battle where the 100 used rocket fuel to create a ring of fire around their camp, burning many attacking Grounders. But victory is short-lived as mysterious men in hazmat suits captured the survivors with gas grenades. Season 2. Season 2 reveals that the 100 were captured by the Mountain Men, descendants of people who sealed themselves inside Mount Weather before the apocalypse. While they initially seem kind and civilized, Clarke discovers they're draining Grounders' blood to treat their radiation sickness. When the Mountain Men start harvesting bone marrow from the 100, it becomes a death sentence. On the outside, the Ark has crashed to Earth in multiple pieces. Chancellor Ya, who stayed behind on the Ark, miraculously survives and makes it to Earth in a nuclear missile. The Ark survivors establish Camp Ya, later Arcadia, and try to rescue the missing kids. Finn goes on a killing spree in a Grounder village while searching for Clarke, setting up a major conflict. The Grounder commander, Lexa, demands his execution, and in a heart-wrenching scene, Clarke mercy kills Finn before the Grounders can torture him. Clarke and Lexa forge an alliance against Mount Weather, leading to a complex relationship that eventually turns romantic. But when Mount Weather offers to free just the Grounder prisoners, Lexa betrays Clarke and walks away, leaving the Sky people to fend for themselves. With no choice left to save her people, Clarke makes the devastating decision to irradiate all of Mount Weather, killing everyone inside, including innocent children and allies. The weight of this genocide is too much, and Clarke walks away from her people, unable to face what she's done. In a separate storyline, Ja and Murphy discover a mansion with an AI named I, who reveals she caused the nuclear apocalypse to save humanity from overpopulation. This sets up the next chapter in the saga. Season 3. Season 3 jumps ahead 3 months. Clarke is living in the wilderness, known to Grounders as Juan Haida, Commander of Death. For her, Mount Weather genocide. In Arcadia, a new group of survivors arrives, led by Pike, who harbors deep hatred for grounders after brutal experiences. As tensions rise, Pike is elected chancellor and leads a massacre of grounders sent to protect Arcadia. Bellamy supports Pike, creating a rift between him and his sister, Octavia. In the Grounder Capital Police, Clarke and Lexa reconnect, but their relationship ends tragically when Lexa is accidentally killed by her mentor Titus. Jaw returns to Arcadia, preaching about the City of Light, a virtual reality created by Ali, where people feel no pain or suffering. He distributes chips that connect people to this digital utopia. But the chips also remove free will. Raven takes a chip to ease her chronic leg pain, but soon realizes I is controlling her mind. We learned that Ali's creator, Becca, also created a second AI, Ali 2.0, that became the Grounders' sacred flame implanted in their commanders. This flame holds the consciousness of previous commanders and only works with night blood, a genetic mutation that gives people black blood. As AI's army grows, taking over most of Arcadia and Polis, Clarke obtains the flame and gives herself night blood to use it. Inside the City of Light, she confronts AI with help from Lex's consciousness, which lives in the flame. Clarke finds the kill switch, but I warns that Earth faces another nuclear catastrophe. All remaining nuclear plants are melting down. Despite this, Clarke destroys Ali, freeing everyone, but leaving humanity with a new apocalypse on the horizon. Season 4. With 6 months before radiation engulfs the planet, everyone scrambles to find solutions. Clarke's mother, Abby, and Raven work to create synthetic night blood, thinking it could make everyone radiation resistant. But the tests fail. An alternative appears when they discover an underground bunker built by a doomsday cult called Second Dawn. The bunker can support 1,200 people. Not everyone will survive. This creates brutal conflicts over who gets spots. Inside, Octavia, now a fierce warrior called Scarapa, wins a grounder conclave tournament for the bunker and decides to divide the spots equally among all clans. As Prefa the Death Wave approaches, a small group including Clarke, Bellamy, Raven, Murphy, Monty, Harper, Echo, and Amore plan to ride out the radiation in the remnants of the Ark in space. But the rocket launch hits complications, and Clarke sacrifices herself to align a satellite dish, enabling the others to reach space. In a surprise time jump, we see Clarke survive thanks to her Night B blood. 6 years later, she's living with a young Nightblood girl named Mati in the only green spot left on Earth. As she wonders why her friends haven't returned from space, a prison transport ship lands, bringing new threats. Season 5. Season 5 reveals multiple storylines across the 6-year gap. In space, Bellamy's group survived on algae and formed new bonds, including a relationship between Bellamy and former enemy Echo. In the bunker, food shortages led to cannibalism during a dark year, transforming Octavia into the ruthless Blood Ray Queen, who runs gladiatorial death matches. The newcomers are prisoners from before the first apocalypse, led by Colonel Doza, who was an infamous terrorist. They've been in cryosleep for over a century. They want the habitable valley for themselves, setting up the season's central conflict. When Dioza captures Abby to treat a lung disease affecting her people, Octavia leads her Wong crew army in a march to take the valley. The power-hungry second-in-command, McCreary, eventually takes control from Dioza and threatens to destroy the valley if he can't have it. Bellamy poisons Octavia to prevent her from leading Wong crew into a trap, but the battle happens anyway, resulting in heavy casualties. When McCreary realizes he's losing, he launches deadly nuclear fuel, triggering a third apocalypse. Our main characters barely escape to the prisoner's ship, heading back to space, as Earth becomes uninhabitable again. In a twist ending, everyone goes into cryosleep to wait out Earth's recovery. When Bellamy and Clarke wake up, they learn from Monty and Harper's adult son that they've been asleep for 125 years. Earth never recovered, but Monty found a new habitable planet before dying of old age with Harper. The ship now orbits this mysterious new world. Season 6. Season 6 takes our heroes to planet Alpha, also called Sanctum. It looks like paradise with a beautiful civilization ruled by the primes. Families that have maintained power for generations. The leader, Russell Lightborn, welcomes them, though tensions exist with forest-dwelling rebels called the Children of Gabriel. The dark truth emerges. The primes are immortal body snatchers. They use mind drives similar to the flame to transfer their consciousness into new hosts with black blood. When Russell discovers Clarke is a night blood, he paralyzes her and resurrects his daughter Josephine in her body. But Clarke isn't gone. Her consciousness survives in a corner of her brain due to residual neural mesh from her experience with I. Inside her mind, Clarke and Josephine battle for control while outwardly Josephine tries to pass as Clarke to find more night blue dudes. Bellamy discovers the truth, and with help from Gabriel, a prime who turned against his people, works to save Clarke. Meanwhile, back in Sanctum, Murphy and Amore pose as primes to keep peace after a truth-revealing rebellion erupts. Mai, now with the flame, is influenced by the dark commander Sheeta, making her dangerous and violent. To save her, they must remove the flame. But Sheeta uploads himself elsewhere before the flame is destroyed. The season ends with Clarke regaining control of her body and Russell being captured after the death of his family. Our heroes take control of Sanctum, but at the edge of the forest, the discovery of an anomaly stone that creates a mysterious temporal field sets up the final chapter, Season 7. The final season begins with the anomaly expanding and a young woman named Hope stabbing Octavia, making her disappear. Bellamy is pulled into the anomaly while trying to save his sister, and his friends follow to rescue him. They discover the anomaly connects multiple planets. On Sky, time passes much faster. Octavia spent 10 years there with Dioza and her daughter Hope before being captured by a mysterious group called the Disciples. These masked warriors worship the shepherd and believe in a coming last war that will lead to transcendence. On Sanctum, Sheeta takes over Russell's body and begins manipulating the Grounders to follow him. Meanwhile, Abby's lover Kane sacrifices himself rather than live in a body stolen through the primes technology. The Disciples led by Bill Cadogan, the ancient leader of Second Dawn who's been preserved in cryosleep, want Clarke because they believe she has the Flames code that will activate the final test. We learn through flashbacks that the original AI designer, Becca, discovered this test, but refused to let Cadogan take it, leading him to burn her alive. In a devastating twist, Bellamy witnesses something in the anomaly that converts him to the Disciples' cause. When he discovers Mattie's drawings that could lead Cadogan to the code, Clarke makes the heartbreaking decision to kill him to protect her daughter. Despite Clarke's sacrifice, Cadogan gets the code from Mattie, leaving her brain dead. He activates the test, which is administered by advanced beings who take the form of loved ones. Clarke kills Cadogan during the test, automatically failing humanity. Raven pleads for another chance, showing how the Wearing factions can lay down their weapons and choose peace. Humanity passes this second chance and is offered transcendence, evolution into beings of light and consciousness. Everyone transcends except Clarke, who can't, because she committed murder during the test, but her friends choose to return to human form to live out their remaining days with her on a restored Earth, unable to reproduce, but free to live in peace. The series ends with humanity's transcendence and our core characters finding a simple, peaceful existence together. A fitting conclusion to a show that constantly questioned what it means to survive versus truly living. From teenagers struggling to survive to adults making impossible choices, the 100 took us through a combination of moral complexities and The cycle of violence. Despite constantly facing extinction, humanity in the 100 showed both its worst impulses and its capacity for sacrifice, love, and eventually transcendence. At its core, the series asked one fundamental question: does humanity deserve to survive? The answer after 100 episodes of war, genocide, and rebirth was that we do. But only when we choose to break the cycles of violence and truly live as one crew.